So we're going on an epic road trip today. We are driving from Amsterdam to Milan, Italy. I'm super excited about it. We are driving with everything in the car, with the dog, with the wife, who's graciously holding the camera for me. So wanted to bring you along the journey and see what it's like to drive from Amsterdam to Milan. So let's jump into it. So we're almost to the German border, about 8 kilometers from the German border right now. And today we're going to be making our way through Germany to Switzerland, spending the night in Switzerland. And then tomorrow we're going to continue on to Como, where we're spending the weekend, and then eventually to Milan. So I'm really excited for this road trip. The scenery in Switzerland and even getting into Lake Como and Milan is going to be amazing. And driving in Italy, I've driven around Rome and that was pretty crazy. I've heard northern Italy's a little bit better, so let's see how it goes. But we're gonna bring you along the journey and talk about anything interesting along the way. Alright, we're almost done with the first day of driving. We are close to the Switzerland border. Thankfully now it's sunnier and drier. A lot of rain today, not a lot of Autobahn speeding, unfortunately, but that's fine. A few traffic jams as well. One thing that I thought I would mention is impressive whenever I'm driving in Germany is the way that traffic splits when there's a traffic jam to make room for an emergency lane. It's actually required, but it's really helpful, I think, for emergency vehicles, which I saw some happen today. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of rain today, so it wasn't that exciting of a drive. We're almost to the Switzerland border, and tomorrow we'll be driving through Switzerland on our way to Lake Como. So looking forward to that. Hopefully much more nicer B-roll, but we will pick up the drive tomorrow.
So day 2 now, we're going to be heading to Como. We're going to be driving through Switzerland today and heading to Como, the city, staying there for a couple days. So really looking forward to the drive through Switzerland today. The weather's a bit gray right now, but hopefully the sun comes out a little bit later and we see some nice sunshine, beautiful mountains, and some winding roads. So let's see how it goes. Packing up the car right now and getting ready to head out.
Well, we're in the longest traffic jam I think I've ever been in. It's been probably, an hour of traffic, at one point standstill for maybe 20-30 minutes. So apparently this is one of the famous tunnels. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Gotthard Tunnel, whatever. And there's a ton of traffic right now to go through it, but there's no real way to work around it. But apparently it's a historic pass, a famous pass in the Swiss Alps. So yeah, could be worse scenery to be stuck in traffic in, but here we are. So let's see how it goes. You. I guess all of that traffic was worth it. Finally some nice roads, nice views. Italia. What a view.
Well, another hotel garage. We finally made it after a day that was supposed to be a short drive, ended up being a longer drive. We finally did it and made it here to Como. So looking forward to spending the next couple days here. We'll shoot some footage and see how it goes. The car is filthy right now, so I need to get that cleaned up. We will pick this video back up when we continue driving. So it might seem crazy to get a car wash when you're doing a long road trip, but here's the thing, with such nice weather and beautiful scenery, it's really difficult to drive an ugly, dirty car. So I came to get it washed, but this wash system's really unique. Thankfully, somebody was able to help me out because it was in Italian and I had to figure it out. But you kind of park the car first and then pick your wash program, and you're not allowed to be in the car. But it seems to be doing a pretty good job from the other cars that I saw. So it'll be really nice to have a clean car, at least for part of the trip until we start making our way back. So let's see how it goes, but so far so good.
About the wash. What do you think about it? What do you think? Huh? You like the wash? Yeah?
Well, I'm now here in the French Alps in Annecy, France, and it has been a wonderful past few days driving around Italy and now here into the French side of the Alps. It has been incredible. Starting from Como, driving around that area was absolutely wonderful, driving through Switzerland, of course. But then, even then, we drove to Milan, spent a few days in Milan. Driving around the city of Milan was really interesting. It's very car-oriented, but the drivers are crazy. So I've heard a little bit about the Italian drivers, and I've seen a little bit of that now in the northern part of Italy, especially driving around Milan and the surrounding areas. But honestly, it's not too bad. Like I've said before, I think the drivers are quite skilled, but the drivers definitely are a bit more aggressive and a bit, in a hurry to get places. But for me, it wasn't too much of a problem. It was something I got used to. So drove around Milan a little bit, spent a few days there. Then we made our way down to Portofino and the Cinque Terre area, and that was absolutely stunning. Beautiful mountain winding roads, beautiful scenery. It was an absolute blast to drive around that area, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart. So you can see in a lot of the B-roll here, the roads are very, very, very narrow. They're the equivalent of basically one lane in the United States or Canada. And this is for two-way traffic. So definitely it's not for people who are not used to driving on these types of roads. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but I enjoyed the challenge of it, and actually it did quite well. Not a scratch on the car, which is nice, but it was definitely not for the faint of heart. So if you're an American thinking about driving in that part of Italy, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're an already pretty skilled driver. The average American driver could not really drive on those types of streets. It's very narrow. Even with two-way traffic, big buses and trucks coming through, you have to pay a lot of attention, really know your vehicle and know how to maneuver it, but made it through, no problem. Really look back on that challenge as something that I'm happy to say that I've done. So driving around Portofino, driving to Cinque Terre, driving through the mountains. The roads actually, the autostradas, the highways were actually quite good. Backcountry roads weren't so great. So you can see some of the footage here. A lot of potholes to dodge. I can understand it's difficult to maintain good roads in these areas and quite expensive. But really, really challenging, interesting driving over the past few days. I've really had a blast. And now driving to Annecy yesterday through Mont Blanc and through the tunnel there, really iconic and historic, and it's really beautiful scenery. So as an American, being able to drive from Amsterdam and basically drive 10 hours to completely different scenery, completely different types of roads with my own car from the Netherlands, that's such a cool concept to me. And that's what's really been rewarding about this trip, is being able to take my car on some of these fun roads and really make that a huge experience that I've really enjoyed. It will go down as one of the greatest driving trips I've done, and I'm looking forward to more of those hopefully in the future. Now, as part of this driving trip, one of the things that I'm going to be doing in an upcoming video is talking about road signs in Europe and how generally, even when you drive from country to country, the road signs are pretty much the same. And actually pretty much around the world, a lot of countries use these standards of road signs. So be sure you're subscribed for an upcoming video about road signs in Europe and how they differ from road signs in North America. So the past few days on this driving trip have been an absolute blast, really iconic, really memorable, and really looking forward to doing more of these in this type of car. This car was absolutely wonderful to drive on these roads. And be sure you're subscribed for this upcoming video about road signs. And until the next time, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.